Let's go.
All right. Welcome back to the Emerging Growth Conference. Happy to give you our last presenter. We have Hemostemix, Inc. It trades on the OTC Pink sheets under the symbol HMTXF, as well as on the TSX under the symbol HEM, and is a winner of the World Economic Forum Technology Pioneer Award and is an autologous, stem cell therapy company. You might want to say that better than me. Please welcome our president, CEO, and co-founder, Thomas Smeenk. Welcome, Thomas.
Thank you very much, Anna. Nice to be here.
Good.
Well, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Hemostemix, Inc., a World Economic Forum Technology Pioneer Award winner, listed on Frankfurt, as Anna said, the TSX Venture Exchange, and uplisting to the OTC QB this quarter. I am going to make forward-looking statements to give you a sense of our business, the scaling of our manufacturing processes, the near-term and long-term outlooks for our product, and as with any forward-looking information, actual results and performance may vary from that expressed today. But I'm here to give you a sense of why we are passionate about Hemostemix, our technology, and its promise. Hemostemix's first product candidate is ACP01, an angiogenic cell precursor that is patented, been used as a treatment of more than 500 compassionate cases of ischemia being a shortage of blood supply in the circulatory system, and is the subject of a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial. We will discuss in detail the interim trial results, the published literature, and outcomes in critical limb ischemia, angina, and ischemic cardiomyopathy if we have time. Very early on, we recognized that the platform needed to scale in order to address the significant number of limbs being amputated each year. Globally, there are 5 million limb amputations. 1 million limb amputations is a $25 billion reoccurring market for Hemostemix. So to that end, we hired an engineering firm and completed a feasibility analysis of the automation of the production process. And that led to our automation patent. This is critical as ACP addresses at least 5 conditions of ischemia, including critical limb ischemia and its preceding condition, peripheral arterial disease, angina, ischemic and dilated cardiomyopathy, to name a few. While more than 500 patients have been treated on a compassionate basis, 245 are the subject of various studies. And I'll take you through those results to give you an understanding of the complete safety profile of ACP and the reported efficacy by indication. Our clinical development pipeline is robust, with no less than 9 targeted indications, most of which have been treated compassionately with significant success. NCP and BCP, like ACP, is published in the British Journal of Hematology. This makes Hemostemix truly a platform technology of patients' blood-derived autologous stem cells that can be targeted to reach multiple conditions as we age. How do we obtain the patient's blood, and what does the patient obtain? We patented a synergetic cell population that is generated from peripheral blood mononuclear cells. These cells are isolated using a Ficol gradient first, and then subjected to a second density-based enhancement. Following culture, this creates a uniquely stable product that has a shelf life of more than 35 hours, enabling shipment in ready-to-use syringes around the world. There are multiple near-term catalysts anticipated in 2021 and 2022. For example, the Ascent Limb Preservation Conference in June, the Sir Anthony Rotozzo 15th Annual Family Office Investment Conference at the beginning of July, the Amputation Prevention Symposium in August, ARMS Cell and Gene Meeting in October, the Integrated Symposium of Endovascular Therapy mid-January, to name just a few. We have, of course, the release of our Phase 2 results, the announcement of our Phase 3 trial, addition to our management team, and M&A as we progress and build out the company. CLI and peripheral arterial disease are a major global health problem. As mentioned, there are more than 5 million amputations each year around the globe. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death. It makes sense to use your stem cells to heal yourself. That is one reason why regenerative medicine is gaining support in both the financial and political spheres. For example, in the US, they passed the Right to Try legislation, which enables individuals to use their stem cells to save their life or their limb while the company is going through the regulatory approval process. Aging populations worldwide recognize that quality of life is the key to its enjoyment. Autologous stem cells hold the promise to maintain a fantastic quality of life as we age. The key differentiators of ACP as compared to bone marrow or other tissue-derived stem cells are the following. It's autologous, meaning that it comes from the patient's own body, as compared to allogeneic, coming from a donor's body. It has therefore low patient risk. It is a simple protocol that is easy to perform in an outpatient clinic. There have been no safety issues reported. No mobilization drugs are required to stimulate cells before collection. This is a scalable, centralizable, leverageable platform. There are no ethical concerns because the stem cells are sourced from the patient's own body. And we have a very high cell viability with fresh cells in ready-to-use syringes that can be shipped to your vascular surgeon, your thoracic surgeon, your cardiologist, depending on the ailment that you need to treat. The markets for ACP are very large and expected to grow as the population ages. As mentioned, saving 1 million amputations a year is a $25 billion reoccurring market in and of itself that requires 83,000 batches to be produced a month. Scaling the business will increase volume and margin, decrease cost, and create truly a breakthrough in the treatment of ischemia of limbs, heart, lungs, and other circulatory dependent systems. Truly, at scale, our company's vision is to be the #1 producer of autologous stem cell therapy. It's not a question of if, it's a question of who has the patents, the management, the financing, and the team to bring it together. In the clinic, ACP has been completely safe. Why? It's because we are extracting and enriching the patient's cell population. Because these are the patient's cells, they use the body's natural electrical and chemical signaling processes to home to the site of need, create angiogenesis at the site of need, and recruit other stem cells circulating in the blood. Note in 47 days how this toe and foot healed. Also note the improvement in circulation. I will go into more detail in the next couple of slides, but I want you to keep this image in your mind when I read these results. We are in the final stages of our Phase 2 clinical trial. The 65th patient has had their last follow-up visit, and we are completing source document verification, database cleanup, before locking the database and completing the statistical analysis. As mentioned, ACPs are generated from the patient's own cells, about 250 cc's of blood, which is drawn very much like a blood donation. It's shipped to Hemostemix in temperature-controlled cooler, and in the space of 5 days, we fractionate it into a synergetic cell population, culture that into angiogenic cell precursors, then ship up to 200 million ACPs in ready-to-use syringes back to the patient's physician. If he's a vascular surgeon treating critical limb ischemia, the patient gets about 20 injections around the wound in the patient's foot or leg. If the physician's a cardiologist, he does a femoral artery approach into the heart and injects ACP directly into the ischemic tissue of the heart. Or if he's a thoracic surgeon, he does direct injection into the heart while doing open heart surgery. The progression of the trial has been as follows. The study was restarted in late 2017 and was approved by the FDA in 2017. It was approved by Health Canada in 2018, and the first patient enrollments were in Q3 2018 and have been finished at around the mid-2019. Our expectation is that the safety profile and efficacy will open the door for other trials of ACP in the heart and lungs. So let's look at the published studies of ACP and the published results. The first study assessed ACP in 6 CLI patients. 5 of 6 saved their limb from amputation. The second study randomized 20 patients. 10 received ACP, 10 received a placebo. There were no deaths, and 7 of 10 subjects saved their limb from amputation in the treated group. There were 2 deaths, and 6 of 8 lost their limb to amputation in the placebo group. Dr. York Zhang of the University of British Columbia reported the following interim results to the 41st meeting of vascular surgeons in Kelowna, BC. Namely, that 83% of subjects experienced healing of ulcers and resolution of pain and saved their limb from amputation. These outcomes, he noted, were maintained for up to 4.5 years. The Angina Trial had 24 patients enrolled and treated with ACP and assessed at 1, 3, and 6 months post-treatment. 20 completed follow-up at 3 months and 17 completed follow-up at 6 months. The 6-minute walk test improved on average from 333 meters to 413 meters at 6 months. Exercise capacity increased from 5.62 to 6.73 metabolic equivalents at 3 months and increased to 7.09 metabolic equivalents at 6 months. Mean Canadian cardiovascular score decreased 1 whole class from 2.1 to 1.18 at 6 months. I mentioned the heart studies. There's a very interesting publication of the study of 106 patients who on average were 66 years of age, were NHYA functional class 3 or 4, who had poor left ventricle function, who exhausted all surgical, all medical, and all pharmaceutical options, and who were essentially facing death. At 1 year follow-up, the functional improvement of this whole cohort improved 1 whole class. Left ventricle ejection fraction improved from 34% to 39%. The quality of life survey of this patient group revealed that on average, general health and physical functioning were significantly improved. I know Roger Bergerson, patient number 35, was given 6 months to live in November 2005. His ejection fraction improved from 18% to 30% and stabilized. Roger regained a quality of life he thought he lost forever. He enjoyed 14.5 years of additional life, watched his grandchildren graduate university. Chairman of our board is Peter Lacey. Peter is also chairman of Service Corporation, a company he built from one John Deere dealership to 64 company-owned stores doing greater than $1.2 billion in revenue and profitable. Beside him is an independent director, Dr. Ronnie Hirschman, an esteemed cardiologist out of New York, who very early in the 2005 timeframe witnessed what ACP did for heart patients. He invested over $1.5 million in the company. Mr. Lawrence Swanberg of the Swanberg Brothers is an independent director, also invested over $1.2 million. Myself, I'm a co-founder of the company, ran it for the first 5 years, returned to the company in late 2019, and have assembled very much the management team that will carry this company forward. Christina Wu is our interim CFO. One of the things I did early on was create an independent advisory board to give not only management, but the board an independent advisory board capable of advising them on a global scale. That includes Tim Chang, who's the former managing director of private equity investment for Cerebus and AIG in Hong Kong. It includes David Sibushi, who is the former Solicitor General of Ontario. And it includes the Honorable Sheila Copps, former Deputy Prime Minister of Canada. Our scientific advisory board includes Dr. York Chang, a principal investigator at the University of British Columbia and a vascular surgeon. Dr. Pierre Limegruber, who was Roger Burgeson's physician and cardiologist, who is now our chief medical officer. Dr. Alan Lumsden, Dr. Norman Wong, and Dr. Kumar Hari, a PhD in cellular biology at the University of California, Davis. We have 56 million shares issued. We have approximately 39 million warrants extant that can be exercised. We're just going through a process of repricing them. The 39 million warrants can bring in approximately $22 million in financing. We are well published. We are a unique investment opportunity. I would invite you to join Peter Lacey, Ronnie Hirschman, Lawrence Swanberg, myself, and many others, and become a shareholder. I think the value opportunity for a risk-on investor is very significant. And Anna, I'll now open the floor to questions.
Thank you so much for your great presentation. We do have a few questions. Let's start. So how far away are you from phase 3 approval?
So following phase 2, we will make a application for phase 3. We also have to restart our manufacturing to support the phase 3. So we really are in about a 12-month timeline to a phase 3.
And then who are the majors in the stem cell space already, and how is your technology different?
Mm-hmm. So the main difference is that we're blood-based autologous stem cell therapy that is focused on this set indication. You'll see other competitors that are using a different source product, typically a donor-based product. And so the main difference is that we're autologous and they're allogeneic.
Are you a storage facility for stem cells as well?
No, that is not our business. We are a processor of the patient's stem cells and a provider of their fresh product back to them in the period of 1 week.
How are you currently funding your research and development, and are you in the middle of a raise?
Mm-hmm. We actually, yes, we are. We just announced a raise. We have had a first closing at of about $400,000 and are raising an additional 1.1 million in units at 35 cents. That include a full warrant at 40 cents. In addition, we've announced a $2.5 million convertible debenture, and that is just going through the approval process, that at 40 cents a share.
And what percentage of the company does the current management team currently own?
It's just under 20%.
And what do you plan on repricing the warrants at?
55 cents.
Okay. Is restarting manufacturing a major expense, and can you fund this currently?
It is a major expense. We will be raising additional funds, but we do have the funds and plan to restart manufacturing, funding it as we go forward.
Perfect. Would you like to make any closing remarks?
I think the valuation opportunity is, very significant. We're trading at I would say a low valuation based on previous management, and for a risk-on investor, I think this is a very opportune time.
I agree. Thank you so much, Thomas. We look forward to following up with your updates in the near future. Thank you for your time and presentation.
Thanks very much, Anna.
All right, everyone. We've had a wonderful conference today. Thank you to everyone who's joined us. And on behalf of all of us at Emerging Growth, thank you to our presenters. Thank you to our attendees for making this such a successful Emerging Growth Conference. It's always such a success. A complete replay of this conference, separated by company, will be made available on the Emerging Growth Conference YouTube channel. Please subscribe, youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. Plus, follow us on Twitter at Emerging Growth C. That's where we post all new information, and we post it there first. I'm Anna Berry, and on behalf of myself and everybody on this team who made this conference possible, we wish you a great rest of your day and a very successful and profitable week. We'll see you back at the next one. Thank you all.